Hi, I'm Jessie Goebel, and I'm going to be explaining how to do a functional behavior assessment as well as a behavioral intervention plan. A functional behavioral assessment is a process that incorporates a variety of techniques and strategies to diagnose the cause and to identify likely interventions intended to address problematic behaviors. It also assists in developing a behavioral intervention plan. The assessment looks beyond the evident behavior and focuses on finding factors that may contribute to problematic behaviors. These factors could include biological factors such as emotional disabilities and mental illnesses, social factors such as peers and classmates, and environmental factors such as the home, school, or community settings. It's important to find the root of the problematic behavior. The observer needs to look beyond the symptom, which is the behavior, and focus on the motivation to avoid or get something. Positive interventions are based on positive behavior support, which is a proactive approach to positive behavior. These supports assume that all behaviors have a reason and there is a need to understand that reason to fully support the student. The reason for the behavior may not be just because of the student's disability, but also because of the physical environment. Overall, understanding why a student is behaving in a problematic way is useful in addressing a wide range of problem behaviors. A functional behavioral assessment includes observing the student, meeting with the parents of the student, as well as the team involved with the child. IEP team members can include the general education teacher, a special education teacher, the possibility of a teacher assistant, related service personnel, a school social worker, the school counselor, a possible psychologist, parents, as well as the student on some occasions. The following are steps to take in a functional behavior assessment. 1. Define the behavior. 2. Devise a plan to collect the data. 3. Compare and analyze the data. And 4. Formulate a hypothesis. The first step is to define the problem behavior. A well-defined behavior is necessary when communicating with the functional behavior assessment team. It should be defined in specific, observable, and measurable terms, or something you could see or count. The column on the left shows problematic behaviors such as aggression, disruption, and hyperactivity. When explaining the behavior to the team, it should be a concrete definition. Instead of aggression, you could say, Trish hits other students during recess when she does not get her way. Instead of Carlos is disruptive, it would be better to say, Carlos makes irrelevant and inappropriate comments during class discussion. Instead of Jan is hyperactive, it should be Jan leaves her assigned area without permission. Once the problem behavior has been defined concretely, the team can begin to devise a plan in conducting a functional behavior assessment to determine the functions of the behavior. The next step is devising a plan to collect the data. Data can be collected indirectly or directly. When data is collected indirectly, the methods usually look at student records, interviews, questionnaires, or checklists to identify how others perceive the problem. If the data is to be collected directly, the methods usually include observations and when you can actually record the situations. An easy way to collect data through observations is through an ABC observation form. An ABC observation form has clear columns where you can record who you are observing, what you are observing, when you are observing it, and the surroundings where you are observing it. In the process is comparing and analyzing the data you've collected. To help the team see the big picture and summarize the data collected, you can see the setting events, triggers of the behavior, the target behavior, and the consequences that maintain the behavior. By organizing the data, it will be easier to clarify the relationship between the behaviors and the events or factors. The next step is to formulate your hypothesis. Based on the data that has been collected, give a guess at explaining the function for the behavior of the student. The following is an example of a functional behavioral assessment. Included is the description of the behavior, such as the student isolates himself from others during class, refuses to go to lunch in the cafeteria, and prefers to stay in the class during scheduled breaks. Student's academic production is minimal. Also included is the setting, the frequency of the behavior, the intensity of the behavior, duration, the previous interventions used, educational impact, whether there is emotion included in the behavior, whether there's cognitive distortion, reinforcements that are used, modeling used, if there are any family issues or psychological factors. Communication is also needed to be recorded. Next, a behavior intervention plan can be developed. The plan should use positive methods to encourage and teach appropriate alternative behaviors, curriculum or program modifications, and supplementary aids. Positive methods can include modifying the physical environment, adjusting the curriculum or instruction strategies, changing the consequences for the problematic behaviors, teaching a more acceptable replacement behavior that serves the same instruction. Members of the team can create with the plan replacement behaviors which serve the same function as the problematic behavior. An effective behavior intervention plan should teach problem-solving skills to the student, which they can use on a regular basis. At the same time, strategies may be developed to decrease or eliminate opportunities for the student to engage in this behavior. When designing the behavior intervention plan, the original function of the negative behavior should always be kept in mind. For example, if a student is consistently talking out in class, the student may be seeking a sense of belonging. Therefore, the behavioral intervention plan should include a plan that can positively make the student feel a sense of belonging. The student could be given a special role in the class, a class buddy, or work in small work groups. One of the most important aspects of the behavioral intervention plan is that the intervention should provide the same payoff or function as the negative behavior. It should just be through a positive way. The plan should also specify the needs for development in motivation, behavior, social skills, and self-esteem, antecedent conditions, as well as consequences. Antecedents can include task modification, incorporating student interests, reducing assignments, peer tutors or peer models, student choices, increased supervision, and smaller classroom sizes. The behavior intervention plan should include measurable goals and objectives should describe the desired improvement or remedy for the problem. The last part of the plan is to monitor your plan. It should be done for good practice and on a regular basis. The following is an example of a behavioral intervention plan. One of the goals, which the social worker is responsible for, is during free time interacts with other students and staff 90% of the time. Interventions and frequency of interventions include social work involvement for referral for family counseling focused on realistic expectations of student performance, ongoing until counseling is started. The person responsible is the social worker, and her goal intervention review notes include showing improvement to 60% on Goal A. Thank you for watching my video on a functional behavior assessment as well as a behavior intervention plan. Bye!